perfection. Better one from out your section. Baby, you were such a blessing. Here we go. You the only one that I'm seeing. Spit some racks and turn that Honda into a Benz. Go to Phillips and put you up in some Louis Lee. I'm in the streets, you at home while I had on business. Girl, I know that you the right one. Only one I wanna put that ice on. Every time you around.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday. This is your host, Dominique, Dolly, Hagler, and we are back again for another segment of Tea with Dominique. Okay, so this segment is going to be a little touchy. I am going to be going over some details that may be a little bit upsetting for people, so I just want to give that disclaimer before I even start having this conversation today. So first and foremost, before I even get started here, I want to say I send my condolences to the family of Jessica Ross and Travion Taylor. And let me go ahead and jump into this segment. So, as most people have heard, that there was an incident, a birthing incident, here in Clayton County, Georgia. And just to kind of give y'all some background on what happened here, um, the couple went in, to give birth to their baby on July the 9th, and the baby's head was decapitated during the birth. Now, I'm a mother. I'm a mother, guys, and so hearing this just really, did something to me. Um, Okay, so we're back. Sorry for that intermission. My little one just woke up, so we're back. So again, hearing this, I was like, oh my gosh. I first saw it on Instagram and I was like, this can't be real. Like this can't be real. Like this gotta be a joke or something. And so just to kind of give you some more details on this particular incident, we had Dr. Tracy St. Julian, who was the delivery doctor. And let's see here. What else do we have? And the hospital that the couple was delivering their baby at was Southern Regional Medical Center down in Clayton County. The part that really kind of did it for me in this particular situation is that the parents weren't notified of the happenings of their newborn child, their first child to be exact, until the baby actually reached the funeral home. And the funeral home was the Watkins Funeral Home, the Willie A. Watkins Funeral Home. That funeral home notified the family that the baby's head had been detached. They received the baby in that way. I don't want to get emotional, but when I go back, and my daughter's 4, so I've had a child for a while now. Just going back in that moment, my mom was in the room. My daughter's father was in the room. My people are in the room, and I couldn't imagine my mom, my daughter's father. I just couldn't imagine them being there and seeing something like that. And in my mind, I'm like, well, who was in the room? That's my rising question. Outside of the doctors and the nurses, who was in the room at the time of delivery? Did they say, no, we're not going to have anybody extra there, or what? I am saddened because as a parent and as a woman, going those 9 months and experiencing that baby in there just is having a good time, and it's kicking and it's moving, and you're letting it listen to music, and you're feeding it good food, and you're doing all of these things, and you're mentally preparing yourself for the next stage, which is giving birth and having a family and being a parent now, being a mom, being a dad. I can imagine coming home without my baby, and this was not a stillbirth, a stillbirth kind of birth. This was not that. This baby was healthy and well. And in my mind, it really does something to me to be like, oh my God, I had a healthy baby that was brewing inside of me all of this time to not go home with my child. And not only to not go home with my child, but to have to plan a funeral for my child, to also find out that my child has literally been separated. Oh my God. Like I couldn't even put myself in their shoes. And none of this, you know, the during, the after, the what's to come. I can't. I truly can't put myself in this space at all. So, you know, I know over the years, you know, they've always said in the Black and brown community that this has been a thing. A lot of our babies don't make it. We're actually doubled in the Caucasians culture. Um our childbirth thing, death rate is double that. And for me, I feel like there was a lot of negligence here. Um for the hospital, the doctor didn't tell the family what actually happened to the baby. The hospital didn't tell the family what happened to the baby. The baby had to be packed up and sent to the funeral home in order for the funeral home to blow the whistle and say, this is what happened to your child. That to me is very negligent. And I look at it, and I've had these conversations. One of my good friends actually works in the MARTA system, and we talk about how people are so desensitized to things, right? Like there is no, oh my gosh, like there's no nothing. They just don't have it. And I know even in my job, and I've been on there for a while, when I see certain things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a break. Like my heart is heavy. Somebody just lost a parent or a sister or a brother. I still have that. I don't know. And maybe it's just the field of work some people are in where they just become desensitized to things, right? Like that may not have been a big thing for the doctor. She probably sees, you know, child deaths all the time. So for her, it may not have even been an issue. The same thing with the nurses. And I feel like you have to have some type of conscience. Like I understand at that moment, maybe you were in shock, but even in shock, were you not alarming enough to the family that something may have went wrong? Like what is the processes that the nurses or the doctors, what are they trained to do in instances like that? Me, I don't know. That's probably why I'm not a nurse, because I don't think I would have been able to stand in that room to see the doctor just pull on this baby, just pull on the baby to now the baby is separated. I can't imagine I probably would have passed out. I just in my heart, my mind, I probably would have froze, but I probably would have passed out to see something like that. And again, I think maybe it's just in certain careers where you become desensitized to certain things. I do feel like it was that delivery doctor's job to say, family, this is what happens. Now, who's the blame? You know, yes, we can definitely place the blame on the doctor. For sure, hands down, you delivered my baby. If you felt like it was going to be that much of a struggle, you should have gave that woman a C-section. You know, at that point, we should have arranged some type of emergency procedure for her. If you felt like you needed to pull that forcefully on that child, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. And it's so sad. And again, you know, going back in my own experience with having my daughter, the process wasn't long. But even when it came to her actually, you know, coming out, yes, we had to do some other things. But my doctor, and thank you so much, Dr. Ware, she was willing to go above and beyond, and I appreciated her for that. Thank God I didn't have to go through the C-section route, but it was things that she was able to do to make sure that my baby came out safely. Now, I know there's a lot of a lot going on behind this situation. I know the family is now suing the hospital, they're suing the doctors. A lot of people are getting sued. And honestly, I feel like they have all rights to do as such because again, I don't know how I walk into a hospital with a healthy baby brewing inside of me to now not have a baby. And not only to not have a baby, but God, my baby is in pieces at this point. Like I can't understand. I can't. And I was having this conversation with my girlfriend yesterday, who also has children. She has 3, and we were having a conversation about it because I told her the topic that I wanted to talk about, and she was like, "I couldn't imagine that either for myself. I couldn't imagine what that would be like." Um, and both of our births were natural. I couldn't imagine just going through all of this pushing and crying and pain and to have nothing at the end of it. And that the sick part out of all of this the sick part to me, and that makes me cringe at the thought of it. And this is what I'm saying as far as people being so desensitized that they just don't care. The nurses at the hospital, decided to wrap the baby up, the baby's body, and prop the baby's head on top of the blanket as if it was there, like it was connected. How? Just if I was the nurse in that situation, I would have had to get off of that immediately. I would have to leave. I would have to report this. I would have to do something. I don't know the processes of it, but I would have to how did you think that was okay? Just having a conscience. How did you think that was okay to wrap those people baby up and prop that baby's head on top of this blanket? How did you think that was okay? Are we that far removed and having emotion and having a conscience and feeling for somebody else that we just say, oh, well, happens all the time. Happens all the time. Oh, we saw this before. Oh, this happens all the time. Is that what we've gotten to? Is that where we are now? To me, I feel like it's a scary place. You put your trust into these doctors when they're delivering your baby and you're going to these appointments and all of these things. You put your trust that they're going to do everything that's best for you and that baby. And in this case, I don't feel like that was done. Because now these 2 young parents, you've now created a trauma for them. They may not never want to have kids no more. This may now cause some type of, trauma within their relationship, within their own selves individually, what they could have done better, what they should have did. Maybe they should have went with a home birth. Now you've now put them in a place of second guessing themselves. You've created a trauma for these 2 young parents. They may not never want to ever have another child again because of this. And again, because people are so desensitized and they just, well, it happens. Oh, it happens. This is the world we live in today. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody has a heart. Nobody has a conscience. And in this situation, I feel like nobody in this situation had a conscience. Nobody said, oh my God, this is wrong. Nobody. Why did it take for the funeral home to blow the whistle on the situation? Why? Like, why, as the delivering doctor, did you not take this family? Did you not explain this to them? Why did you not? And why did you think it was okay to do this to this child? Was it because she was an African American? They were African American parents? I mean, because we do have double the death rate in birth than the Caucasians and any other nationality. Did you just feel like, oh well, they'll have another one? What I want to know what the thought process was here. Like, my feelings are truly hurt. Like, it now scares me. I talk about having more kids and things like that, and I promise I would have to go back and get the same doctor because, like I said, my doctor was great. But it does scare me to be like, I am putting my trust into you that we are going to deliver this baby safely. We are going to deliver this. My baby is going to come out healthy. It's going to come out happy. It's going to come out crying. No, I can't tell you as a parent, nothing is more satisfying than when you hear the sound of that baby cry. And for that mother to have gone through giving birth to this child and it was non-responsive, I don't know what I would have done. And I please excuse me for getting emotional, but I can't. I can't. I can't imagine what she felt like in that moment. I can't. I can't imagine what that dad felt like in that moment. I can't. How do you even, as the dad, how do you even console her in this moment? How do you expect to be consoled in this moment? Like there is nothing nobody can tell you. Because I'm sure not too many people that is in your circle every day has experienced something so traumatic. I just, what do you say? Like, what do you do? What do you say? You know, and it's really, really sad, y'all. Like it's really sad. And I hate to have to even be reporting something like this, but it really touched my soul again because I am a parent and I could only imagine what these people are going through. And then the doctor told him, "Oh, well, just cremate the baby." No explanation, just nothing. You didn't give these people nothing. You took a life that they created together, and then you just brush them off and say, "Look, just go ahead and cremate them," without even telling them the truth about what happened to their child. You just go and cremate the baby. We got to do better. This is unacceptable. This situation right here should never happen again to anybody. To anybody. To anybody. I mean, not even your worst enemy, to anybody. This right here is sick. And I know we've had a lot of stuff going on within the weeks. We had the brawl down in Montgomery. But this right here takes the cake for me. This takes the cake. You know, and even in that, like, you know, my friend was telling me, you know, she asked for people that looks like her to be in her birthing room, right? She asked for those brown and black and brown people to be of her service while she's there during her child's birth, right? But what happens, right? In an instance where your doctor is a brown or black person and they've now failed you as a brown or black person. They have failed you. So now we then say this is not even a what type of people are in your room? Well, it's just the mindset of these people. Are we evaluating these doctors? Because we don't know what type of trauma they see that now has created, you know, them to be desensitized to certain things. Are we getting them evaluated every 3 to 6 months? How are we keeping them okay mentally to now put us in positions, you know, put them in positions to deliver people's babies and things like that? Are we making sure they're okay? Because in this situation, I don't feel like she was okay. We need to start checking them too, because a doctor needs a doctor too on a mental standpoint. Because again, you don't know what people are going through and seeing every time. We need to start making sure our doctors are good too. Because Miss Dr. Tracy St. Julian, I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect came. Where she thought this was a great idea. Were you having a bad day that day and you decided to deliver these people's babies? Were you their doctor that they were seeing on a reoccurring basis for the checkups of their child? Were you just the delivering doctor at the hospital at that time? Who were you? What was your stance? And that's what I'm saying. We got to make sure we good here. Because this shouldn't have never happened. Under no circumstances should this have happened. These people should have came out with their baby, and they didn't. They came out with the baby, but they came out with the baby in creating having to create a memorial service for a healthy child. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then, you know, the hospital they released a statement pretty much saying they deny, you know, any type of allegations or whatever the case may be. And honestly, they have to be held accountable. Everybody, the nurses, the doctor, the hospital, everybody needs to be held accountable. Why? Because in this situation, those nurses are a part of your hospital. Now, Dr. St. Julian, she may not be a part of your hospital staff, but she need to get hers as well. But those nurses that wrapped that baby up and propped his head up on top of that blanket to display as if he was still alive and breathing and kicking, or whatever they had told him at that moment when they saw their child. Everybody got to get some. Everybody got to get it. The hospital, the nurses, the doctors, everybody got to get it. Nobody is exempt from getting it in this situation, in my opinion. Because I know if it was me, I would do the same thing. And I watched a video of them and their lawyer speaking on it, and my heart was really crushed. You could just see the sadness, just pure sadness. And you know, I know, and not to get all religious, but I know everything happens for a reason. And right now, they may not see what that reason is. They may not see it. They may not feel it. They may not care because they are in such a hurt place. But there is a reason for everything. And I'm not giving nobody a pass for the situation because, like I said, if it was me, everybody would be getting sued. Everybody, the ambulance that rushed me there, everybody would be getting a piece of me. I'm not gonna lie, everybody will be getting a piece of me. You know, I'm sad. I really am sad about this. And I tossed and turned and I thought this was on my mind all night, guys. Like all night. And then I just looked at my daughter and I was like, thank you, God. God knew I wasn't strong enough for nothing like that. And he didn't give me that. He didn't put that in my path because God knows I wouldn't have been strong enough for that. And I don't know. I pray that the family gets some type of closure on this. I pray that, you know, the two individuals, the two parents in this situation, you know, they keep each other close. They don't push each other away because I know when people lose kids, it tears the relationship up, you know, and now your relationship has fell apart because your child is no longer here. I pray for them. I really, really do. I pray for their mental. I pray for their future. I pray for the you know, the outcome of this situation. I pray for them all the way around. My heart is so heavy. And if I could just hug both of them, I would. Like, I can't say, oh, you know, it gets easier because losing somebody, and I can't even tell you what it feels like to lose a child. Just losing my grandparents just did something to me. So I can only imagine as a parent losing my child. Like, I couldn't, the thought of it just makes me I'm sick. But I pray for their mental health. I pray for their well-being. I pray for these dark times that they're going to run into. I pray for them. I pray that they can come out of this and they can find some type of goodness, some type of clarification in regards to what the next step is in their process. What does life look like for them? I do pray for the next chapter of their lives. This was major. This is not a drop in a bucket. This was something, we're talking about somebody's child. And I know people, you know, people's kids get shot and, you know, we see kids get hit and, you know, things like that. But God, this baby, he didn't deserve that. That baby didn't deserve that. That baby deserved to be here flourishing. Those parents deserve to have a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, bring it in the new year with their child. Those parents deserve that. They didn't deserve this. And y'all couldn't even respect them enough to tell them what really happened to their child. Y'all left it up to Willie Watkins to blow the whistle on a situation. Like, that's disgusting. It's gross. It's nasty. It is evil. All it says to me is that people are truly evil. I really feel like they need to revoke her license after this. She doesn't need to touch anybody else's kids. Don't deliver not another one. Don't. And if somebody told me they were giving her to me, and after knowing this situation, I would sue them just because y'all just disrespected me. Y'all played in my face in regards to who was going to deliver my child. Y'all thought this was a joke. Take her away. She gotta go. She don't need to be in this space. If she's gonna be that rough and cruel, careless, evil, disgusting, take it away. Take her license away. Go work on yourself. Because there's no reason you should have ever pulled that child so hard that you broke all the bones in that baby's neck, in the head, to the point where it was now decapitated. Take the license away. She doesn't deserve it. She doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She doesn't. Don't. She doesn't need to be in this. This field is not for her. And I pray that she also deals with her mental health too, because something on that day had to be off. It had to be something for her. I don't know, maybe she was mad at her husband. I don't know. Something had to be going on. You can't just go in there and you can't. What and why? Why? So, and that's my personal opinion. I just don't feel like I don't feel like she needs to do this ever again. I feel like her license needs to be revoked. And I feel like the parents need to do any and everything to make sure they are heard loud. They are heard. This should never happen again. I would need to know at this point, there needs to be a process. I need to know just as much as you need to know about me in this childbirthing situation. I need to know the same thing about you. When was the last time you got your mental health checked? How are you feeling the day of the birth? Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you happy? Is this where you want to be? I would need to know these things, because this can't happen again. Like, I don't never want to see this again. In the remaining years of my life here on earth, I don't never want to see a story like this ever again. This is horrific. This is gross. This is heartbreaking. This is disrespectful on so many levels. I don't know what it's going to take for us to get back to having a conscience and not being so desensitized to things. I don't know what it's going to take, because I know in the world we do see a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of things that happen out here to people. I know it does. Some things go under the radar. Some things are brought to the light, like this situation here, but this can't happen again. This can't happen again. I don't ever want to see this again. I don't. This is so heartbreaking. And it makes me want to cry every time. Like, again, I look at my daughter and I'm like, I don't know what my life would have been like if I had to experience what these parents experienced. I don't know. It's just a lot of questions that I have about this situation. Like, why? Why didn't anybody think this was wrong? Like, you were willing to keep your job than to do the right thing. And I remember on a show where they were saying, people can see stuff happening, right? They can see somebody doing something wrong and they just walk on by. They just don't say nothing. I can tell you right now, like I said, if I was a nurse in that situation, there is no way I could walk out of that room and go day to day and just think nothing was wrong with this situation. I don't care what I seen. I remember one time I went to Walmart, and this is me just being me, being me. I went to Walmart, and I have a big heart. I really do. I care about people, whether I know you or not. I just feel like I just love people. That's just who I am. And if you know me personally, I just love people. Everybody's not nice, but that doesn't stop me from loving just the people just because, with no prejudgment. So I went to Walmart, and during that time in Walmart, I was in the self-checkout line, and there was the self-checkout people, one of the cashier self-checkout lady, she was talking to a couple, and they were asking her, I guess, about, if they had something in that Walmart. And there was a guy that was in front of me. He's like whistling at the lady. He's like, like a dog, like, whistling at her as if she's like an animal or something. And I'm in there and I'm angry. I'm getting angry because I'm like, if he does that one more time, I'm going to say something. I'm going, and he was I believe like maybe an Indian guy, and she was a Hispanic woman. And even though I didn't know any of them, why are you whistling at this lady? You see she's talking to somebody. Can you just wait your turn? And I say that to say, like, I don't understand how you could have how could you see something happening and not say something about it? And you know that it's wrong. How do you not say something about it? Do you, are y'all all like kind of dancing with the devil? Like, is it really a thing of just like, you just don't care? It's not happening to me. I don't care. It wasn't nobody I know. I don't care. Is that the kind of attitude we have? I couldn't keep going a day in that hospital knowing I was a part of that. I couldn't. My conscience wouldn't let me. Just like my conscience that day was not about to allow me to see this man whistling at this lady and hollering at her as if she was an animal, like a dog. I was going to say something. Luckily, she walked over there because the little light on the thing be going off. Okay, she finally stopped talking and came over there. But if he would have whistled one more time, I would have said something. And at the time, I was in there with my boyfriend, and I was just like, do you see this? I mean, is it me? Am I like being too sensitive? But I don't understand why he feels like he needs to whistle at this lady. So I say that to say, you have to speak up when you see something wrong. If it means that you may lose your job, so what? You can't just let things just happen. We got to start saying something. Everybody want to be so quiet and not rock the boat. Listen, one thing about me, I'm going to tip it all the way over. Okay? The boat is going to be face down in the water. That's me. If I see wrong happening, I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak up. Somebody should have pulled somebody aside in that moment, and they should have spoke up. It shouldn't have been Willy Wonka's. It shouldn't have been them. It shouldn't have been the funeral home relaying this information on the truth when everybody in that room knew the truth. But the people that really needed to know, everybody knew, but nobody told them, listen, I don't never want to see this happen again. And I really don't have any more on this because it's making me angry. It's making me hot inside. And I'm trying to keep my energy good, but my heart is hurt. My heart is heavy. And again, Jessica Ross and Travion Taylor, I wish nothing but peace. I hope y'all find some type of peace in this situation. I pray for you and your families. I pray that this doesn't tear y'all apart. I pray that this makes y'all stronger. I don't know what y'all union consists of, but I pray that this makes y'all stronger. Okay? I pray for y'all mental, y'all emotional, y'all physical. I pray for your strength. I send nothing but love and peace to y'all. I pray that God wraps his arms around y'all in this time. I pray that y'all get some type of closure in this case. I pray. I do. I send my prayers out to y'all because I could never. I couldn't. I probably would have been going. Me, the baby, we all would have been going. I probably would have had to end it all, but I pray. I do. I pray for y'all. And again, y'all, on that note, it stops here. So until next time, next week though, guys, I am looking forward to having one of my good friends on the show to talk it up with me, spill some tea. Okay, have the tea, give some tea, all of that good stuff. But yes, again, I send my prayers and my condolences to the families of Ross and Taylor again. And I pray that everybody gets what they deserve out of this situation. I do. I hope we make the right decisions here. We don't sweep this under the rug and we never have to see this again. And with that being said, that's my time, y'all. This is your host, Dominique Dolly Hagler, and this is The Tea with Dominique. Until next time, y'all, have a good one.